There is, they're responsible for international cooperation. International cooperation, it is to the world. And there is about 80 billion euros which are available until in the Horizon 2020 projects. So this is something that we can take advantage of. There is areas which are very much of interest to European Commission, which is about innovation and building human capital. It's about ICT is everywhere, ICT innovation, which is an integral part in many of the areas, like cloud and HPC as building larger communities for research and education. It's about smart cities, it's about transport, environment, ICT and learning, climate, security. It's about Internet of Things, and he's calling for next steps like creating forums to identify promising areas of interest to the region, and because we are here in Oman, so their interest is in the Arab region, and to try to recruit some partners to join and be catalysts in the future in terms of creating joint projects and joint activities. And probably by the end of today and tomorrow, we are able with them to identify action plans and examples where we can move forward. So thank you. So, Mr. Aniyan.
Okay, good afternoon, His Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. As it has already been said, may well be at this time of the afternoon is not the best time to listen to a presentation. In any case, a presentation with the slides. But maybe I will have a few slides with the pictures, so hopefully that will keep you awake. The other point maybe is my colleague Carlos has already covered the issues, or at least the pointers about the Horizon 2020, the opportunities which you have. So I'm going to expand a bit on specifically connectivity, data, computation, and cooperation. May well be, I should have put innovation there. Actually, it is also there. So at the end of this one, and maybe in any case during the roundup, the discussions, we certainly want to have open discussion with you to try and see where is that we can work with you. Where is that your needs are taken into account, so that the cooperation does not come from Brussels. The cooperation comes from your side. So that's the way how we would want to try and explore the ideas. And in the next few minutes, I will try and cover on the points about this connectivity, data, computation, and cooperation, and also I'll touch upon the innovation part. Okay. Well, this may well be is one of those diagrams which you could see where we are looking for a researcher anywhere in the world to have access, to communicate, to cooperate, to work with others. So it doesn't matter where you are, and we would need to look for the encouraging or at least providing the facilities for that. Now, some of you might have been looking at, for example, the Facebook CEO been going around the world trying to communicate on every single child, well, say child, even the primary school onwards, to have connectivity. Now, of course, we are focusing more on the research side. I think the bottom line, of course, is we need to look at that sort of global connectivity from the research point of view. Okay. Now, what's the approach we follow in this? We, of course, take a transversal cutting across disciplines. So it doesn't have to be just, let's say, medicine or maybe smart cities or any of those. It could well be the cross-cutting. Support for tomorrow's science. Now, open science has been mentioned a number of times this morning. Now, it may well be, this is one of those key aspects which is going to encourage innovation. You know, there was a time we were talking about closed shop, closed discussions, closed research is over. Now, we need to really look at how the open science is going to create innovation. So, this is where we would be looking at enabling innovation through the testing innovative solutions, and that should also help servicing industries and SMEs. And we would certainly like to see from the Arab countries, the GCCs, where there are innovative companies with whom we can also work with. Okay. Well, what's the drivers for change in this? Here are some pointers. Computing power, naturally. I mean, we've gone from the stage where, you know, we simply have a minimum amount of communication or computing data. So this is a key aspect in this. Big data. Again, I come back on this a bit more. This is a stage where the so-called data deluge is one of the significant aspects, and through which you would be able to create innovative solutions. Global connections, been talked about many times. Global participation. So that's where we count on you. I mean, it is something where these days physically you can be anywhere else, but the global connection will allow you to cooperate. So it's an open is better. So we're looking for a cooperation in science and also for society. Okay. Well, the computing power, and if you look back on number of years, probably this just gives you a little picture about how the computing power has been evolving over the last, let's say, 30 years, 40 years. Now, it has been said many times, if you look at the, if you like, car industries, if the technology evolution has been happening in the same way as it is for the computation, probably you could have had a really fast driving car in your hand. Now, so the speed in which the computational power has been increasing is enormous, as it's been shown through some of the diagrams here. Okay. In the same way, I mentioned the data side. The amount of data being created on a daily basis, hourly basis, is huge. And may well be, it's not just about the volume you need to be thinking about. How can you create value out of it? And that's where you're going to have innovative solutions, and you'll have businesses working around it. Okay, well, global connections, picture has already been shown before, so it simply shows, you know, the global connection is limitless in this situation. Well, it's a picture which everybody in here has seen many times. I mean, the giant is well known to all of you, so I don't need to explain anything more. However, it's a significant part. I would say this has been one of our success stories. I mean, you have been part of it. We want to take this further. We really want to take this further into the future. Okay. The number of organizations or the number of researchers working on it, again, it's been increasing on a regular basis. 50 million users, I'm sure this probably need to be updated. 10,000 institutions, you know, this is increasing on a regular basis. Well, from the e-infrastructure side for the unit in which I am working on, you'll see that the infrastructure, the connectivity aspects which literally supports every other field. It may be on the leading industrial side, it may be for societal challenges. So it doesn't matter which area it is, the bottom line is you need to look and think about that connectivity and also the data which is being used. Okay. The global research, virtual research community. So it probably shows you, if you can read it from them, the number of communities in which it is involved in. Could be e-science, e-health, e-learning, you name it. So it's actually, it's up to you to look at which are the communities you can make the best out of it. Well, how that infrastructure really cooperates enables those communities work together. Here are the examples. It may be medicine, it may be climate, it may be, you know, better ways of saving energy. It doesn't matter which area it is. Okay. Well, here's the building block in which we are looking at, if you like, how this infrastructure can help. There is a scientific data infrastructure. There's a high-performance computing. I'll come to that in a minute. The network infrastructure, which again I talked about on GANT. So you see there are significant number of projects or activities which we have been involved, or we are involved, many of which you are involved, and you can also see the background on which is work. the platform is there, the infrastructure connectivity platform. But then you have all the other activities around it. Okay, this is just to give you an example of the environment culture, number of projects or activities around it, and again, the bottom line is that connectivity which I talked about. Well, the high-performance computing has been mentioned in the morning, and may well be this will be discussed again later. And some of you are very much involved in it, and we want to work with you. And for that, I mean, that specific case, let's say, for example, some of the examples, the weather, climate, earth sciences. It may be for fundamental sciences of physics. So, industrial engineering, any one of you who have been involved in a simulation of the car, for example, or a car crash, very well know the importance of this. And biolife and sciences. So, the areas in which high-performance computing these days playing a part is, I would say, limitless. Almost every single area where you're looking for competition, this is going to help you. Well, I mean, when I talked about high-performance computing, it's also important to bear in mind, may well be, is something you need to think about from your region. You need to look at the strategy, because we have not come up with a high-performance computing strategy on one day. It takes the whole issue, if you like, through a system. By that I mean the agreement of the politicians, the agreement to have a development of a policy, and then to look at how we can implement it. In the same way, maybe this is something you need to look at. So, also for the research data part, I mean, this is also a case where look at the policy development. You get your policy decision makers with you. So if you are a researcher, just hoping that you can see the bigger picture, that's going to be difficult. So get your decision makers with you is this main message I want to give from here. Okay. I mean, Research Data Alliance, this is one of those activities which we have been involved in it, and you see the number of organizations which have been participating in it, and also the individuals are actively participating in it. Now, Rand has been, excuse me, can I just have that bottle of water? Okay, this is fine. Well, we talked about Rand quite a few times. I mean, equally, I want to challenge you one thing. Never ever think things are stable and remains exactly as it is. Challenge yourself where you are today, where you need to be tomorrow. How you evolve. And that's a question each one of you need to ask yourself. And on that basis, think about improving, where you can cut costs, where you can improve efficiency. These are questions we are being asked on a regular basis, and the same way, Rand or any other activity will be asked on the same questions. So I think it would be worthwhile for all of you also to think about, okay, now we need to have a situation of continuous improvement. And that question will never disappear, so it doesn't matter which field you are working on. So that means this is a success story. We want to make it even a bigger success story. And for that one, we need to look at continuous innovation in these sort of areas. Okay, now just to tell you about how you can be part of these actions, and just to give you an example, and remember here also, again maybe this should be part of a discussion, how the GCC, the Gulf area, the Arab countries can be quite visible even in our program activities. Now we have activities with the EU and Brazil, very specific goal. EU-Japan, very specific goal. We put money on it. I'm not saying that this is already there, unless, for example, this region, but equally what I'm saying is that it is not impossible. But what you need is, the initiative need to come from your side. So that way, we should be able to take things forward. Okay, so for example, here is a 21 million. By the way, this is a call open. There's already activities on international cooperation. You see the 11 million for low and middle income. International partners for USA, Canada, Eastern Asia, 3 million. This is how, if you like, the money has already been allocated for the call. Another one, which in fact closely related to the infrastructure, we just closed the call, we have done the evaluation. Of course, the result has not been published yet. This should be coming out in the coming weeks or so. We have allocated 5 million euro. This is just to give you some examples of how we have succeeded in allocating money and taking this forward. Okay. This is my question, and I hope we will have a discussion around it. How can you be part of the global research and play an active role? And just to repeat myself, the initiative needs to come from your side. It cannot be just from our side alone, because we will be looking, decision makers, our policy makers will be asking, who are the counterparts? What is that they're bringing in? What's the ideas they bring forward? So that's the challenge I put on the table. Thank you.